Hello and welcome to The Studio Demands It, an exercise in creative thinking where we will conceptualize, pitch, and craft a film or series based on the demands or stipulations from one of you listeners acting as a hypothetical Hollywood overlord. Ooh. As professional screenwriters ourselves and massive cinephiles, we talk movies all the time. And we'd like to believe that we could meet any demand thrown at us. We will be your screenwriters for this episode. I am TC DeWitt, and joining me
as always.
Throwing me.
I don't know. I'm trying new stuff here.
Is Jim hungry for justice, Berzelik.
So hungry.
So hungry for justice.
I'm starving out here for some justice.
Just like every time Jim and I get together to record, he picks me up and we go get food, and I make the mistake.
Every time.
Every time. Say, what are you hungry for, Jim?
I say, justice.
Every time. It's such a natural question of like,
it is.
we have converged. Yeah. I am in your vehicle. I am buckling up to go get food. What are you hungry for?
Yeah.
Justice. Justice. But justice needs to be served sometimes.
It does.
Can I mention some injustice currently happening in the world?
Yes.
Okay. There's two.
There's a lot of.
There's a lot. I'm going to pick
Actually,
one.
That might be a mistake.
All right. Of all the injustices, to make it apt to the podcast.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
I'd like to just discuss Madam Web for a moment.
Oh, okay.
This will
date the highest of injustices.
Listen, we can all admit of all the injustices currently happening in the world, this is the one that needs to be discussed.
Travesty of travesties.
Look, I'm specifically pinpointing this from our screenwriter's perspective here. Mm-hmm. So, Madam Web is out right now, and it is getting just trounced. Mm-hmm. And I've seen it. Jim has not at this time. And I'm specifically focused in on the screenwriting of it.
Okay.
It feels like a first draft, Jim. Ooh. It feels like, okay, this will be the dialogue placeholder, and then we'll just come back to this scene and write, actual dialogue. No. That's fine. We're just going to film this. And it's such a soulless leech of a movie that's just like, you like them comic book movies, eat it. Like more so, I'm having a debate of like, people are like, it's worse than Morbius, and that's a feat. Morbius was pretty bad. I'm not going to forgive Morbius for its content, but it's
Morbius didn't feel like it was cynical like that though to me.
Yeah, Jared Leto. Like honestly, with Madam Web, it does have Adam Scott in it, and he can't help but be good. Like he's just inherently a charming fella. The thing that I'm interested in is S.J. Clarkson is the director, so she's got a story credit. Matt Sazami and Burke Sharpless, which sound like fake names, Jim. Let me just get a quick rundown of their film career right now. Uh-huh. They wrote Dracula Untold.
Success.
25% on Rotten Tomatoes, if that matters to anything. They wrote Vin Diesel's The Last Witch Hunter.
Success.
Yeah, 18% on Rotten Tomatoes, if that means anything. They wrote Morbius.
Success.
15%. They wrote Gods of Egypt.
Success.
14%. And they wrote the Power Rangers movie.
Success.
And now they've written Madam Web. And what I find fascinating about all this is that these aren't audience scores I'm giving you. These are like the critical responses by the professional critics and film reviewers out there. Their entire library of films is one splat, one bomb after another, and they continue to get work. Mm-hmm. That's incredibly fascinating to me.
Yeah, same.
Like it's kind of frustrating because
same.
I'm not going to sit here and be like, we should be doing it. We can say that off mic. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that there are some incredibly skilled screenwriters out there who could take every one of those properties and even with whatever demands Sony threw at them, give something better than what we got. Like, it's stunning to me that there are people out there who make one bad movie and we never see them again. Yeah. And then these fellas, good for them. I mean, I want to know who their management is. Congratulations, guys. Like, yeah. That is the thing that's very much interesting me right now in terms of this
How they're getting one after another.
One after another. This whole response to Madam Web. It is a study. Because, to speak of our last episode, we did our Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movie, and we found the difficulty of what was being asked. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying we we nailed it because we did work our way to the slingers eventually.
Okay, so to toot our own horn a little bit,
Please do.
and to kind of use that in contrast to what is being turned into major motion pictures, we did that in 2 hours.
Yeah. Who knows how much time these guys are getting?
More than 2 hours.
Like Sony doesn't have to be doing what they're doing. Like Venom, I think, is the best example of what they've achieved. Outside the animated movies, that's a whole different animal. But the live action stuff they created.
Honestly, even bringing that into the discussion, what is happening, right? Just around the IP of Spider-Man and Spider-Man-related characters. Well, I mean, they gave the animated one to known powerhouses.
Lord and Miller, yeah.
Lord and Miller, and there's actually a couple other directors on those projects. And they're churning out gold.
Pure gold.
And
billion-dollar gold.
Yeah. So, and I realize they don't want to necessarily take that goose off of that and bring it over here, sure. But in contrast, it's like, what's it even like? It like trying to imagine the scenario in those offices of, I realize they're not necessarily all in the same building,
but the figurative office.
Sure, yeah. Right, Tony Stark, the Sony Tony Stark here is over in their cave.
He built it with a box of scraps.
Building it with like does it really come down to literally Peter Parker and Miles Morales, the Spider-Man character, that all of these other, like, we don't know what to do without Spider-Man. No one in Sony knows how to tell a good story. Or is it really that everyone thinks these are good stories? And
I can't
is blame
imagine
being shifted to, I don't even know who.
I just can't imagine people were seeing the dailies on this and watching the edit come together and sitting there going, correct. Like, I feel bad for the director. I feel bad for the actors in this. I feel bad for the people who were involved with the creation of this, and the blame lands on the studio. We can be mad about Batgirl getting shelved, and we can be mad at freaking what's his name, Zaslav,
James Gunn? Oh.
The Zaslav. There's a whole James Gunn did not shelve Batgirl. You shut your hole.
He validated.
He did validate it. I think that says something, that we have a gatekeeper that has given us multiple things of quality, saying, listen, guys, this just wasn't up to snuff. We are trying to set a bar of quality here. So that says something about Batgirl. Maybe it's good. It's not. I'm still mad at Zaslav. I don't know what's the threshold for Sony? Like, who's making these decisions and why? Like, we're still getting Kraven this year. We're coming back to this conversation, man.
I really wish I had an answer for you.
Yeah, I don't either. But it's just it's a moment in time where the studio demands it. Like, this is everything that we've discussed that led to the creation of this podcast, to try to figure out what is being asked of these filmmakers and what restrictions are being put on them. Because it's got to be more than just, you can't have Spider-Man. There's clearly some other demands happening here that are like restricting the hell out of these creators.
Do you think it's just a willingness to just say yes to everything without review? And what I mean by that is, like, they put in the script the whatever notes from whoever come down, and it's not even a matter of saying yes and then figuring out a way to put it in. It's just blatantly like, okay, it's in there now.
Yeah,
without figuring out transition or smoothing things out.
It just is.
Yeah.
We don't have time. Move on.
Because really, you're just giving notes on a first draft anyway.
It's yeah. I'm.
Are they? And you're the one looking at their credentials. Are they just screenwriters?
Yes. Well, they have some other producer credits in here, but sometimes writers can negotiate for a producer credit.
Okay.
Producer credit.
The hypothesis, the theory was going to be that they themselves might have been producers, might have been CEOs or executives of some kind that were just taking that credit of writer, when really it's just we made a series of notes.
Yeah,
and then
we're going to call this the script.
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
Or maybe that's super insulting to these two guys. Which,
yeah,
I don't know.
Therein lies the discourse here, because like going on, guys, if you just want to take some time to read the reviews on Letterboxd, they're good. Like it's to watch people hate on a movie in this capacity is pretty amusing.
Yeah.
However, there are people who are having more nuanced conversation out there. Chris Stuckman went viral for his response to this movie, and there's people like hating on him because he wasn't mean to the movie. He was like, "This movie's bad, but the fault lands on this, not on this." Like
Sure.
he's having some deeper analytical thought when dissecting the film, which we try to do here as well. We're not going to sit here and just say these guys suck. Period.
Yeah.
Ooh, gross. Yeah, Suzuman and Seamless or whatever is they are writer producers. That is their Sharpless. Sorry. Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the movie again to be able to have a more detailed conversation with you and some of you who've messaged me about this. Thank you. I have more to say about this. This will probably be, if I may plug our Patreon. We've been may I?
No.
Come on.
Okay.
We've been doing some of the bonus content we put out there is just random conversations that we have, particularly after watching a film like Iron Claw, and this is going to be one. Like once Jim and I see the movie together and can have a full conversation about Madam Web, we'll go into more detail about that. So to be continued on that front. Before we get to the demand of today, I also want to give one more shout out to Gus from Harmony Films, who had sent in a demand that I did not see for our song episode.
Oh, okay.
This was Gus's demand. Harmony Films demands a blockbuster production that is directly based off a song. For example, Piano Man or Yellow Submarine. Gus, you literally gave us the exact demand we ended up meeting from someone else.
I actually want to do my own call out. I was going through my Facebook page, and I had the memories come up, right? Like, this is what was posted on this day, however long ago. And my friend, Jason Williams, had given us a demand through that. It was the same thing. Make a movie based on a song.
So
I forget which. Yeah. He originally put a song, but it wasn't to make a movie out of that song. It was just another movie. Choose a song and make a movie.
Nice.
So yeah, lots of shout outs there.
There we go. So thank you for that. We wanted your voices to be heard because we do get a lot of demands coming through. Some of them slip through the cracks. We try to curate them the best we can. And so Gus, Jason, thank you for contributing, whether you realize it or not. So we hope you enjoyed that episode. But Jim, enough about this. Let's get into tonight's episode. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, good. Jim, our amazing listeners, who some of them we just mentioned by name, particularly, specifically, have given us demands from studios literally all over the world. And you, listening now, you can send us any demand you'd like, and we will have to meet them right here on the spot. And when we reach the end of the episode, if we've done our jobs, we will have pitched a full script or story meeting or even exceeding those demands. And when the end of the season comes, your demand could have helped us craft the script that will be greenlit by the fans for our finale, for a full production. Thank you to everyone who keeps submitting. Keep them coming. Today's demand comes from Matt at I'm Not Dead Studios. I know that Lee Whannell is working on an Escape from New York reboot with Wyatt Russell, and I'm really interested in that. But let's, for a moment, imagine it's 2011. It's 15 years after Escape from L.A. bombed at the box office, which was 15 years after Escape from New York became a cult classic. It is time for a third and final installment of the Escape From series. The last movie ended with an EMP. Do you know what an EMP is, Jim? Do you want me to explain it to you?
Yeah, no, I'm not sure.
So it's an electromagnetic pulse. And side note, it's one of the things in films and TV shows that drive me nuts. We all know at this point, okay? Stop explaining what an EMP is. Anyway, Escape from LA ended with an EMP turning the lights off on the country, but that doesn't have to mean the country is in the new dark ages. That's not how EMPs work, which is what you said. That's
we discussed that, yeah.
The demands, plural, are as follows. You must bring back Kurt Russell as Snake, obviously. He must remain the anti-hero, out for himself and not trying to save the day. A group of criminals, a babe, an old ally, a betrayer. The government can't be trusted. There must be a ticking clock that will end in Snake's death if he fails the mission. There must be a thing everyone says when they meet him and recognize him. Quote, I thought you were dead, and I thought you'd be taller. Please finish this trilogy the way it was meant to be finished back in 2011. There's the demand.
Okay.
A third and final entry in the Escape franchise. I already see your eyes have rolled back in your head.
Yeah.
And the gears are turning.
I'm scanning. I'm what do they do in Minority Report? What is the term for
the precogs? You're just like, okay. Thank you for this. We had I had a sense this is what it was going to be. We knew this was going to involve Escape from New York in some capacity. I thought it was going to be just remake Escape from New York.
Yeah, there are some. I had a plan, and it has been shattered.
Oh no.
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah.
Did you think it was going to be a remake of Escape from New York?
No, I thought it was going to be a third one, but
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be now. Make it now, not 2011.
Okay. Well,
It makes a difference because it was going to involve Wyatt Russell and Kurt Russell.
Okay. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's take the 2011 off the table for a second.
Okay.
And I'd like to hear whatever idea you have because we can manipulate it. Here's the thing. There was a third movie written.
Was there?
And planned.
Oh,
and
I didn't
released.
know that. What?
John Carpenter conceptualized Escape from Earth, which then he turned into Escape from Mars,
Ghosts of Mars?
which then he took out Snake.
Oh, no. I mean,
Yeah.
good.
Ghost of Mars was
Okay.
the original idea for...
I never saw Ghost of Mars.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what?
Should have watched that one.
You ever watch like a Sci-Fi Channel original movie?
I sure have.
One of the good ones.
Oh,
Yeah. That's,
all right.
sorry to disparage John Carpenter's Escape from
No.
Mars, but it sure feels like...
there's a whole conversation there to have. I love John Carpenter, but something happened to how he approached movies or was allowed to approach movies or something in the 90s.
Something did change.
Something in the 90s. And for me specifically, it was after In the Mouth of Madness.
Okay. He went crazy.
Yeah.
That's what happened. You touched that Lovecraft, you're going nuts.
Something like that, yeah. Do you read Sutter Kane? It's a line from the movie. It's very good.
There's some very excited listeners
Yes.
right now. So we watched Escape from New York, and we watched Escape from LA. Escape from New York holds up.
Yeah.
It's a cool movie. You put it best. You said it on the commentary. I think you said it in Escape from LA, and we are not releasing that commentary.
No.
But you said it best, the difference between the two.
Escape from New York is campy. Honestly, in the rewatch, I don't even know how campy it is, but I'm going to go with that. It's campy, and Escape from L.A. is cheesy.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I know John Carpenter likes Escape from LA, and I think there's some really great ideas in that movie, but boy, does it feel like a 90s movie.
Yeah.
Oof.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was...
in the bad ways.
In the bad ways. Not in the cool 1999 The Mummy ways. We're
Yeah.
talking the bad ways.
Yeah.
But the demand is as it is. We have to create a third installment for Snake Plissken, Escape from Somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're a bigger fan of this than I am because I hadn't even seen Escape from LA. So
Sure.
I'm going to default to you right now. Where do you want to take Snake Plissken?
My premise, initially, if releasing it, ignoring the remake that's coming out, my premise was we come back to because I assume we're going to do the 20 as if in 2011.
Yes, we'll come back to that specific point.
Okay, well, this premise is
yeah, okay.
Escape from the USA.
Escape from America.
Nope.
Oh,
because Canada and Mexico are part of America.
Oh, you have to be
this
specific.
Is Escape from the USA.
Escape from the USA.
Or USA. Yeah.
Escape from USA.
Escape from United States.
Escape
the,
from.
It's going to have the on it.
Yes.
That's how we refer to the country.
Escape from the USA.
Yeah.
Okay. It sounds like a country rock song.
It does. And it follows Snake. Either he starts already in the U.S. and he's. I don't like the idea of he's looking to get out because that doesn't really match the other two.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be trapped into going in to get something out.
So he's already out of the U.S. and he's being forced back in.
Yes.
Yeah, got it.
I'm not sure what that is. I don't have that yet.
I got an idea.
Okay.
Okay. They capture him. He just
The
blew.
U.S. captures
the
him.
U.S. captured. He at this end escape from L.A. He set off the EMP. Do I need to explain what an EMP is?
Yeah. What
Okay,
was
so it's an
EMP?
electromagnetic.
Oh, okay.
He shut the lights off.
Yep.
And basically put every other country on above America because he turned off America.
He turned off the. Was it just? I thought he turned off the world.
No, I think it was just America.
Okay.
But whatever the case, he
Okay. Keep talking. It might work anyway.
and he escaped, and then they have captured him. They have brought him back to the U.S. to punish him for his crimes. So at least that's how we get him back into America. Is that they've captured him? They're bringing him back. They've extradited him or whatever. He's been on the run for 15 years, and they finally caught him. Okay. There's how we get him back here. So he's in America.
Okay. So now he has to get out.
Yeah. He has to escape from the United States,
Yeah.
the USA.
Yeah.
Does that work for where you want to go?
Sure. The other big thing, because I wanted to incorporate Wyatt Russell as well. Mm-hmm. What he finds out is that the U.S. has been cloning him,
Yes.
or at least once. Has cloned him at least once.
Okay.
And so Wyatt Russell plays. I couldn't decide if he would just be like he thinks he's the original Snake, or if he's like a mind wiped version that the U.S. is using to prop up as. Like, look, we've rehabilitated Snake Plissken kind of thing.
Oh no, okay. First, I just want to say it real quick in case anyone's shouting at us. I know Gemini Man is similar to this.
Yeah, it
Screw
is.
that movie.
Yeah.
Walk away. Walk away. Walk away. Okay. I like the idea that they have cloned Snake and are using him as their tool, and
so it's going to be Snake hunting Snake.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing: is why I think that'll work. Because the demand here says we should have something like, I thought you were dead. I thought you'd be taller. We could have the reoccurring thing when people meet Snake is, I thought you were a hero.
Oh, that's not bad. I was gonna say I thought you were younger.
that could be it too. That could be it too. But if America is propping him up as like their tool, either or.
Actually, that really plays in because he's not a hero.
He's not a hero. That's why it came to me just now.
That works.
Like, I thought you were a hero. I'm not a hero.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what is it? Who could be? What could his goal be? What is the goal here?
Right. Because like so both movies, he is sent into an island prison, and he has to retrieve something and get out before he gets killed.
Yeah.
So how about this? How about instead of the U.S. capturing him and bringing him into the U.S., we'll say like Canada captured.
I was thinking Mexico here, so it could be Mexico, but Canada I think also works. I have an idea of what he's retrieving.
Okay, well,
ahead.
that thought, this is my thought, that another country captures him and says, you have to go into the U.S., get a thing, and get back to us. You have this X amount of time to do it. If you don't, we will tag you and tell the U.S. where you are. And they will capture you. So we're forcing you to go back into the U.S. to retrieve this thing for us, and we'll let you go free. But if you don't get back in time, we will let the authorities know where you are, because the whole U.S. He's the most wanted man on the planet.
Sure.
So there's the ticking clock. What do you think of that? It's the Australians. They're so polite.
My only problem with that is everywhere Snake goes and meets, right? A part of it is going to be people identifying him, so people are going to know. The authorities, especially where he's at, are going to be like, "We just saw Snake Plissken," or no, the whole idea is no, they already think Snake Plissken's there. That's why they'd be saying, I thought you'd
be
younger.
You're right. That's the way to do it. I thought you'd be younger is the right way to go, because Snake is out there doing his thing, and so when people come across an older Snake Plissken, you're like, anyone ever tell you look like that Snake Plissken guy? Yeah, I've heard that. I thought you'd be younger. Then it's like, oh, I'll go in. I don't give a shit. I'll go retrieve your bullshit thing. You can't. What are you gonna do? Like, they already think I'm in there. Oh no.
Well, no. I feel like that would be a reveal of the movie. No one knows because the U.S. Has become this insular nation that does not talk to the outside world because, right? So nobody knows what's going on in the U.S. Because
they've shut themselves off.
Yeah.
There's a great comic called The Undiscovered Country, which has a similar premise where America put up a barrier for 100 years. And for 100 years, we're in the future. No one has known any. There's a fog around the U.S. and no one knows what's happening there. The comic goes to a very weird place, but the premise-wise, I like the idea that after the wipeout, after the blackout, after the EMP went off, that America went through a quick reconstruction period and then shut their borders off, and they've been isolated.
And anything that comes out is highly sanitized and propagandized.
Yeah. I like that. And also having the okay. So what do you think of that? Like they send them in, and if you don't get back in time, we'll tell the U.S. where you are.
It's not bad. It feel like I think that it needs to be played up in the script and in what happens to make that a real threat. Because very much you got a poison in you, and it's gonna kill you.
You got a bomb in you
in hours.
Yeah.
You got a bomb in you. That's much instantly understandable. Whereas we're gonna release the hounds on you. The hounds being the insane U.S. authority.
How about
is kind of, like I feel like Snake Plissken. Honestly, his initial reaction is, "Screw you! I don't care. I'll do it."
How about this? They give him an air tag that a laser from space that can shoot a flea off a dog's back. That as soon as they activate it, like if he appears on the radar, that frickin' laser from space is going to vaporize him wherever he stands.
Canadian space lasers?
Canadian space lasers, Jim. And they can show it work, so he knows that it's like, I'll just hide underground. It's like, no, this is how this works. That they demonstrate what it would be like if the air tag is activated. So now, how's that for imminent threat? It's not a bomb.
That's pretty good.
It's not a disease. It's a space laser.
That's pretty good. I think that's a good workable thing. It needs to be zhuzhed, but it works definitely.
Okay. What's
good enough to move on to the next the next thing.
Well, you know what we do is we just put it on the board as what the placeholder is.
Yeah.
But then if we give this movie to Sony,
that's what it is.
Enough of that.
Yeah.
What is he retrieving?
He is retrieving a scientist from the heartland of America.
Oh, okay.
One of the head scientists of the what am I trying to think? An agricultural scientist. He's in charge of crops.
Okay.
And he's being held prisoner.
So the first movie was the president and the speech or whatever, the peace treaty.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was the president's daughter and a cassette,
a weapon.
The weapon.
Yeah.
Yep. The EMP.
Yeah.
And then so now you're saying it's a scientist and something the scientist has. Like it can't just be a person. We have to have a person and a MacGuffin.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Well, why did you suggest agriculture? Why is that?
It's adjacent to global or not global warming, climate change issues. The whole and I want it to be central to America. We did the East Coast, we did the West Coast.
I'll put in the heartland.
And putting in the heartland. What's the heartland about? The breadbasket of America, corn, cattle, crops.
Great.
Kind of stuff.
That's the poster tagline. Corn, cattle, crops. Snake Plissken is back.
Really selling it. Yeah. So that's why and that way we can put it like right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And not have to worry about like what city it's in. Why is this not Escape from St. Louis? Because it's just about America. It's about the middle of America. It's about the heartland of America.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not to say we couldn't have the arch, the St. Louis arch on the poster. Having some sort of formula for food. Like if
It
that's
would it would be something like that. Like it would be so like in the 15 years since the EMP went out, the globe has begun experiencing major climate shifting,
famine.
and there's been crop failures.
And somehow America has survived this, and because there's
because they're using heavily genetically modified stuff, stuff that can survive these famines and droughts and
these conditions. Cool.
blights. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a scientist and their formula. There's your two things to retrieve, and then sending. Now, are you to not make it a specific city like Kansas City or Omaha or what have you?
I think it should probably be Mexico. Actually, now that I think about it,
What Mexico?
sending
Snake in?
Sending Snake. Yeah, it's Mexico that does it, not the U.S. or not Canada, because I think the path to the heartland, the path to Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, that area that's where I'm imagining the lab that the scientist is at, is indentured to is. I think the adventure through Texas and up is more exciting. No offense to the people of
The North.
Montana or North Dakota or Minnesota, because that's where I imagine he'd be coming down from.
Right. I like the idea of him coming up through cowboy territory.
And so the now that I say that, the only potential point against that is thematically, Escape from New York was New Yorkie. Escape from L.A., the movie totally had a Western sub theme. Like there's twanging guitar in the scoring, and stuff like that. Very much like there was literally a quick draw scene. Snake was made to be like a man with no name kind of badass cowboy.
He's wearing a black duster.
Yeah. So maybe doing that even more so with Mexico and Texas is not the right call, or just leaning in harder to it.
I think leaning in harder to it is fun because he can start at the Alamo. Like we can hit some landmarks of the South, of the Longhorn cowboy era, like going up through. Meeting like we have characters like Eddie
up through the Midwest.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Eddie, Map of the Stars, Eddie.
Yeah,
Right?
Map of the Stars, Eddie.
Or Cabby from the first one, having someone who calls himself like Davy Crockett, like having
Tex.
Tex.
For whatever reason, the first name that came to mind is call me Shit Kicker.
Shit Kicker. Love it. Getting him, like, yeah, I like the idea of coming from the South up. I think that again, no offense to the North, and yes, I know Montana and Dakota's have their own cowboys, but
so I actually, the more I think about it, the more I like that, because so the places that people complain about, New York, and it's very New York,
hey,
New
walking
York.
here,
yeah, and they very much think they're the center of the universe. L.A. people are very L.A.
Exactly.
And if you're not from L.A., you're nothing. People, L.A. is very about L.A.
Make movies here.
And I think the one that's kind of unsaid is, or less talked about, is people from Texas are very much about Texas, and if you're not about Texas, it doesn't matter. You don't matter. So
everything's bigger here. You don't mess with us.
So maybe should it just be Escape from Texas?
Well, I do like your notion of escaping from the U.S. Escape from Texas. Escape from New York. Escape from Los Angeles. Escape from Texas. No. Here's the thing. If we go south up and we kind of hit some landmarks along the way, if we go through Texas, we can have some wider referencing, right?
I know. I'm really shifting. If we do Texas, the story can be, because looking at the progression of the politics of that world, the president was very much trying to manipulate world events. The second one, the president, the new president, became very religious, had a very religious bent, and again trying to manipulate the world with EMP. In what could have happened in the last 15 years, the blackout caused enough chaos. Texas has not necessarily seceded, or maybe they have. Maybe that's the thing. They turned themselves into a jail. They don't see it as a jail, so it is Escape from Texas, and they've taken the president hostage.
Oh, you've just upped you've
I did.
raised the stakes.
It goes back to, or maybe someone close to the president, right? Because it was the president in the first one, the president's daughter in the second.
The VP.
But why would the president care?
Well, are you taking the scientist off the table, and now he has to
potentially, yeah. In an attempt to make it closer to the other two, if we were to go, which actually, I might even be willing to lose the clone angle, and thus this would be a good 2011 version, Escape from Texas, where
Snake,
yeah, no, where the president has been taken hostage in Texas, and so Snake is being sent in.
We can still threaten
again
him.
by the police state,
and we can still threaten him with a laser from space. I don't know. Let's play with this for a second.
I don't know enough about Texas, so it would just be me kind of making stereotypical jabs.
Hey, the two movies that we have already are caricatures of those
true.
cities at their most extreme. So you're not too far off. Texas becoming an independent state, an independent country,
is totally in their wheelhouse.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
in their state constitution.
There's a reason the company is called Six Flags.
Yeah.
Because Six Flags started... Six Flags of the Six Flags Company represent the 6 different flags of Texas.
Yeah.
Like, you get it. I'm not going to go into historical detail here. I like the idea of the scientist and the agricultural angle. Like, I think I think there's something good there. It's a very clean person to get and thing to get.
It's not 15 years, but that could actually be our 4th.
Escape from Texas?
No. The 4th movie could be Escape from the U.S.
Escape from the U.S. Well, okay. Let's consider that.
Because thinking about that timeline: Escape from New York, 81; Escape from L.A., 97; Escape from Texas, 2011.
26. So then...
We're not so a couple years from now. Escape from the U.S.
You know, it's usually at the end of the episode we start pitching a second movie, and we're not even done pitching the first one.
I can't help but franchise.
Okay, let's explore this. If we're gonna save Escape from the U.S. and the agricultural angle and all that for a 4th movie,
and then that one he can be coming down.
He can Halo jump
from Canada. Yeah.
Oh no, I thought you meant from the sky.
No, from the sky.
Yeah. No. Okay. Then is Escape from Texas just save the president? Like, we're sending you in to save the president again?
Right off the top of my head, yes.
Okay.
Because it's also a new president.
Right, but that's not as a female president. That's why it's so different. No.
Sure. It could be.
Okay, this doesn't sound as exciting to me as Escape from...
I think I'm liking that even more, right? Because it suggests, even the world of Escape from world has become more progressive. No, she's just as much the leader of a police state. It's just that Texas is even so much more just digging in their heels of opposed to change. That they won't even accept that, or is that us being having weird liberal ideals? Probably is. But.
Keep your politics off my show, Jim.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's back up here. Let's back up. Let's back up to the way both movies introduce themselves is they say an event happened, and then they check off a couple of years of what happened between the event and the start of the movie.
Sure.
Okay. So the EMP went off and America went dark.
It was Earth.
It was Earth. Did you Google it?
I'll do it.
Do it.
You give your recap.
No. We're gonna Google it at the same time. Escape from L.A. Wiki go. I apologize if I'm wrong.
L.A. EMP.
The
shutting down the Earth scene.
All right, fine. I was wrong. Okay, if the world goes dark, and the gun-toting cowboys are the ones who keep it operational. Like
and that you can make that match with things, right? They're the lone star in the dark Earth.
So the first state, the first location on the country that came out of
Sorry, keep going.
the first state to come out of the Dark Ages would be Texas, and everyone would follow suit. And we can even move the capital because in the
That's what I was
second
gonna
movie,
say.
they moved it to
wherever that guy was
Virginia, I think.
Yeah.
The capital got moved again, and
Yep.
it is central, like Houston, and so now that is the capital of America, and they I don't know, you said create a wall around their own state, and they're like,
Sure, yeah.
we decide who comes in and out. We are.
Well, actually, a wall is perfect.
Ooh. Hey, you know, those first two movies have political leanings
they
on
are.
them as well, so we're not in dangerous territory thematically.
Yeah.
So
Actually, and the thing, it's even more poignant. That's what's happening at the border right now. Is the Texas State Guard are having disputes with the federal border patrol being allowed in to deal with the border.
So
it's kind of a big amplified version of that. Now it's the whole state.
Okay. How about Texas has the scientist and controlled agriculture? They have the scientist and the formula, and not the president. And Snake is recruited to go in to retrieve that. Like the president himself is a character involved again. Is involved with the mission that everyone outside of Texas and America is like, screw them. They've had control for too long. We need to stop Texas from running this country, and the only way to stop them is to stop letting them be the sole source of our food. Go get that scientist, go get that formula, bring them back, or we are Canadian space lasering you. Eh?
No.
No. Okay. Go ahead.
I don't have an alternative. Just no.
Okay.
No.
It can still be a lady. Ladies can be scientists too, Jim.
That's not the hang up.
No, I see it in your eyes.
It's the hang up.
No, I'm kidding. Okay, well, let's go to kidnap president. How did they get the president?
Well, I get just because Texas does have plenty of their own agriculture, but I don't think of that being central to Texas. Like that's not an identity.
The climate has
thing.
changed, Jim. They have cows and corn.
Sure, and things changed in that America too. But L.A. was still the
Hollywood.
It was still Hollywood. Yeah.
Okay, so how did they get the president? And
well, I mean, can you think of someone better than the president?
no, president's fine. If we want to do like trilogies have known to go back to the source. A second Death Star, another holy object for Indiana Jones and the Nazis. Like we can make it our female president is flying over Texas and the plane gets shot down. We can just do the first movie again.
Other alternatives would be basically making up a new thing here. The federal, the government, the nation, the national reverend, like somebody who's in charge of the
religious
the
state.
Government, the state's religion.
Nah, I don't really love that. We had our Pat Robertson in Escape from L.A. They didn't really lean into that.
He was the president, basically, kind of playing both. Like, I'm a religious president, and this would be suggesting a whole new religious leader, and that Texas has, for some reason, why would Texas rebel against that though? That's the thing. They would actually be all about that.
What about a peace summit that ends up being a trap?
Oh, it's a reset. Literally, that's what Snake did 15 years ago. He reset the world, and a different political power came. A different political group came to power and started changing America. And Texas is not about that change.
Okay.
So that's why they're doing this.
Well, at least why they have an axe to grind against whoever this president is.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't answer the question how they got the president. So
no, not yet. Okay. I'm working out these other details.
Okay.
This new America brags that it's not the old America. right? Freedoms have been reinstituted. You're free to be yourself again. Crime is being dealt with differently than it was. But really, it's the same old truncheon, just a new face.
Yeah.
And they coerce Snake into going into Texas to get MacGuffin and McPherson.
Mr. MacGuffin to
Mr.
you,
MacGuffin,
pal.
yeah. Right now, that's the president because that's who it was in the first one, but it doesn't have to be that. But the reason I like that is it creates an opposition. Texas is very much as we know it, red, right?
Mm-hmm.
God, guns, and
Girls.
And the rest of America is not that. What would be the opposite? Devils, knives, and boys?
Yes.
That sounds weird.
That's the name of my metal band.
Devil, knives, and boys?
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna pitch it. Go back to pitching it again. I'm picking the ball up again.
Okay.
No. Yeah. No. I'm gonna get this. I love the idea of the scientist and the agriculture, but if they kidnapped the guy,
I really want to save that for my fourth one.
all right. Okay. They. I had started saying it before. A peace summit that ends up being a trap. That they somehow have arranged a peace summit of we're bringing in the president to speak to the president of Texas, and
Oh, sure.
and there's an attack on the peace summits,
Mm-hmm.
and both presidents have been kidnapped. Both of them. Definitely not Texas pulling this shenanigans.
Sure.
It's both of the presidents are in trouble, which the reveal, and it might be obvious. We might even just make it obvious from the get-go
Yeah.
that, like, no, Texas pulled this off from the beginning.
Yeah.
They did this to maintain their control, like to put a kibosh on the peace treaty, to gain some sort of sympathy so that more people ally with them. Yeah, so president is kidnapped at the peace summit.
Okay. Crap. It's just repeating the first one.
Well,
Because the MacGuffin would be
proof.
a speech or,
Yeah,
proof. Because in the end, Snake needs to dash it.
Could be the space laser. could be the thing that's going to kill him. Could also be the weapon or the thing that he gains control of through the.
That's not bad.
Because then he can point that thing wherever he wants, or point it at itself, or blow it up. You maniac! No. Here's what he does.
'Kay.
It is the space laser, and at the end of it, he blows up the Statue of Liberty. And it finally fulfills the promise of that first
Of
poster.
that first movie.
Yep, that's what it's been all along. It's all been leading to this, ladies and gentlemen. It doesn't have to be that. So,
What? It just occurred. If we're going to make it a lady president, what if that lady president is the previous president's daughter?
oh, bringing her back?
Yeah,
Okay.
right? Because she rebelled, and she didn't die because she wasn't electrocuted because he turned all the power off.
Oh, that's right.
So what if after that event was her and the people who followed her were able to rise up against the police state in the state of no power and her dad and
Yeah,
overtake them?
that's pretty cool. And then she has a personal connection with Snake, more so than any of the other characters have ever had. Any of the characters, he had no relationship to the president. He had no relationship to the first daughter. So, yeah, bringing it back to her meeting him in the end to be like, yeah, you again. But he would know who he's rescuing. Like this, it won't be a surprise that she's the president. I like that. There's something to that. Yeah, but we still need the MacGuffin. What is the device? What is the thing? And while you stroke your beard thinking of that,
Yeah.
I'm going to throw it to a commercial.
Okay.
How's that? Okay, we'll be right back with some more Escape from Texas. Is that what we're going with?
I think so. No? Escape from Lone Star?
Escape from the Lone Star. That's cooler. That sounds cooler.
Okay.
I like that. Okay, we'll be right back with more Escape from Somewhere
Yeah.
right after these messages from 6.5 Media.
I feel like we're running into like a small problem, but a pivotal problem. Like, clearly, yes, it's going to be a MacGuffin. But the thing is, we can't even just say MacGuffin, and we can kind of do that. But the way we tend to do this is in super broad strokes, and we're going to get to the ending real fast, and the ending is going to pivot around that MacGuffin.
Yeah, that's correct. It has to be centralized to the plot so that it ultimately is a part of the climax. I know you're saving stuff for movie 4, and that's fine. I'm setting aside my agricultural guy because we can use that for the 4th movie. So there's to keep it simple. We know Snake has been captured. He has been given a mission. He has been told he'll die if he doesn't do it. He's going in to save the president. But it's that thing that he is getting as well that needs to culminate in something here.
Yeah.
It's guzzling.
And they've done, because that's what it was in New York. It was a speech.
Yeah,
but it was a piece.
Yeah, it was a way to unite, like to create create a peace. Yeah.
Was it? Because I thought it was it China? I thought Russia and China were going to have a peace. They were going to create an alliance, and the U.S. wanted to stop that because they were both the U.S.'s enemies. At one point in the cab, a brief portion of the tape is played. The voice on the tape describes radioactive elements before it's shut off, so we know the contents of the tape are related to nuclear technology.
So it's information on the U.S. government. That's what the tape is. It's just a doohickey.
Can we make either the threat on Snake's life more of the escape MacGuffin that messes him up, or like is there a way to make the MacGuffin just truly a MacGuffin where it doesn't matter what it is? It's just important to them.
How about this? How about it is the necessary codes and schematics to relaunch the space program. That they can literally leave the Earth. That there's the next country that can get back into space after the blackout. So say the EMP went off and it literally was so devastating that all those satellites, that every satellite fell out of Earth, like Earth's orbit, and like they lost control of everything. So now there's a very minimal satellite system. Ham radios are being used, and whatever country can get into space first wins.
I will give you your scientist in Escape from Lone Star.
Okay.
If that is the MacGuffin for Escape from the U.S.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll trade you that. Female president is now.
It can still be the female president.
Oh, but if the agricultural thing, like what's in Escape from Texas now? Who's he getting and what is he getting?
It can be the scientist and the formula.
Okay. So the scientist.
If you want to do this trade.
Okay, so it's a full trade.
Yep.
So Snake is captured by the United States and their female president and sent into Texas.
Ah, shit! I shouldn't have made that trade.
No. Well, I haven't signed anything yet. I'm still.
It's just because the agricultural formula plays so well in heartland of America.
Right.
I guess you did make it Houston.
Yeah.
Houston was where ground control was for space.
Okay, so
if the MacGuffin is going to space at the end of this one, and then in the 4th one we don't go to space, it's not Escape from Earth.
Yeah,
that feels underwhelming.
Okay, so what?
That's why I feel it needs to go. It needs to switch.
Okay, so you pitch it to me then. What's the switcheroo? Do it, Jim.
Okay, so Texans have
kidnapped,
essentially seceded. Claim.
I was way off.
Make Texas great again. Abandoned the rest of the U.S. and essentially taken it hostage. That was my idea with taking the president. Was that's how they were going to kind of maintain their independence, was by holding the president hostage. But if we I guess we don't have to switch that. I don't know.
Okay. The Texas kidnaps the Department of Agricultural head who has the codes for the food that they've been. No. Okay.
Is it
Texas has created the food source of the country, and they control it.
Soylent Green? Yes.
Climate change allowed them to grow the corn and everything necessary. It shifted the agricultural landscape of the country. They have a scientist and a formula that allows them to do this.
Okay.
Snake is tasked with going in, getting the scientist, and getting the formula, and getting out, or they're going to blow him up. Is he getting blown up by Space Laser, or are we saving Space Laser for the fourth movie?
It can be Space Laser.
Okay.
Let's finish 3, and then we can talk about 4.
So you going with scientist and formula?
Yes.
You.
I am acquiescing.
Okay. No, if you don't want it to be,
we're going to likely what'll happen is we'll get to 4 and we'll start discussing it, and we can suss 3 out.
Okay, then let's do that.
Oh.
Okay. No, that's fine. Snake gets out. He releases the food formula to the world.
Sure.
He just says, "Screw you. If this is so important to you to feed the world, and then we'll feed the world."
Oh, right, because it's proprietary, and so
Yeah.
he just releases it.
Yeah.
So now it's just a wild crop.
Now everyone can feed themselves. He didn't do it to feed the world and be a hero. He did it to say, "Screw you. You're not going to have control over these people. You're not going to have control over me. I don't give a shit. If you think this is what you're so important to you, then I'm going to destroy it." And boom, the formula has been released. And now we can jump ahead another 15 years. Eh?
My only contention to that is Snake did a good thing.
He still did it as a nephew.
He did.
Is it too
but
altruistic?
I feel like he'd flush it.
Okay. You can all starve.
That's his I feel that's Snake's MO.
The humanity survived.
Rather than letting one person have the all the riches, he would rather no one have them.
The humanity survived
like
perfectly.
You could give them to everyone. No.
Humanity survived centuries without superfood.
Yeah.
They can figure out how to survive more centuries without it. Flush.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. He switches out the doohickey so that when they pop it in, it's just like an ad for Cocoa Puffs or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, "Oh no, Cocoa Puffs."
Actually, it'd be kind of if it switched out and it was just a clip of Soylent Green. Soylent Green is people. essentially saying you can eat yourselves.
You go, "Oh, jeez." Okay, I'm going to add a thing in here. Let's save Space Laser for 4. I have a different way to put him under the gun.
Okay.
And maybe add a variation to this so it's literally not repeating so much of the first one. We're going to handcuff him to someone. And it's a dead man switch. He can't be free of this individual, or maybe he can't be more than 10 feet away from them, so it gives him a little more latitude to move around. But essentially he has to...
Isn't that 48 hours?
A little bit. He's got a midnight run.
Midnight run.
He's got it. Yeah. He has a handler, or he has a person that is assigned to him that he also has to keep alive through the course of this mission. That they'll both die if he doesn't come back with both of them. I don't know. I'm just trying to create a variation that isn't a bomb and it isn't a disease and isn't a space laser.
Sure.
So and then it would allow us to cast someone for him to play off of the whole movie and create a little even more of a danger in his ankle monitor starting to tick whenever he gets away. Like, beep, 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 we're too far apart, come back, Snake. Like, damn it. And he has to keep staying within a certain perimeter or a distance of this person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who?
Goldie Hawn. No. 2011. Who do we team up?
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's not a bomb in his neck and it's not a disease in him. I'm trying to create a third thing.
Sure. No, okay. In the premise of the movie, why are the okay, we're sending someone to make sure you get this done. Kind of goes against why they usually get Snake. Snake is a disposable commodity, so even if this doesn't work, it'll work at Snake. But if it doesn't work, we haven't lost anything. It's an aspect we fully control, if we're sending in one of our agents
Mm-hmm.
to babysit him literally with a leash,
Yeah.
that's is that agent also disposable?
Yes. They volunteered.
And they're okay with that?
They volunteered for the job. They bleed the red, white, and blue, and they would do anything for this country.
So they volunteered for the job, but the government doesn't trust them enough to get it done. They
All right,
need Snake.
Yeah. Why is it? Why? Okay. I see what you're asking here. Okay. What's a third thing that's not space laser?
I mean, we could just use a different adjective. Ocean laser.
Because like, if we're going back to like 2011,
Uh-huh.
okay, we're looking at the beginning of like Bradley Cooper's career. Taylor Lautner was big then. Pattinson was just like kicking it off with Twilight. Like, trying to think of like someone else to be in this movie opposite Snake at the height of 2011. Like, yeah, you're looking at your Bradley Cooper. I mean, I'm kind of listing some of like the highest grossing stars, not necessarily the best stars of that era. But you're right. If they're going to send a handler in, why not just send the handler in?
Mm-hmm.
Snake could ask that.
Because we want the two of you to go.
He's real good at killing snakes. He's just real bad at retrieving scientists.
I mean, if Snake asks that, we still have to answer the
I know,
question.
you're right. I just did. He's real good at killing snakes. They call him Snake Killer.
I don't like this guy. Call me Plissken.
Call me Plissken. Okay. I'm going to stick a bomb in him again.
It's right, because, I mean, that's really all the disease was as well, and except, well, it was a bluff.
Yeah, he didn't
so
even
then
have it in him.
at the beginning of this one, they need to do something to show it's not a bluff.
Put it like, go ahead.
Trying to so real esoteric. The first two, one is a bomb, very very violent weapon. The second one is a sickness that's pestilential.
Mm-hmm.
Can we come up with something that is just straight death or famine?
Well, famine feeds into. I didn't even do that on purpose. Into the premise of this, of agriculture and saving the scientist who's feeding the world.
So could something be put into him that would be some sort of wasting?
Like he's like you will be.
Or like we've put a virus in you and it's going to eat you from the inside out.
Oh, okay, that's not bad because they can feed him when he shows up. They can throw a tray of food in front of him.
That's a big part of Texas.
Yeah, they feed him like barbecue or something. Like, here you go, Snake. Here's a steak. Here's like sit down.
Oh.
You're not our prisoner. We are trying to recruit you, and he just eats this potato and steak in front of them, and like, great. Now that's inside you. It's a bit like the disease that supposedly killed the flu.
Oh, I was going to say once he gets into Texas, like, right? So New York. This probably I don't know if this would be the big Texas challenge, but in New York it was boxing with baseball bats.
In LA,
it was basketball,
Uh-huh.
and then in Texas it's eating. So he has to eat a giant meal, or they're gonna kill him. So he has to eat like an entire, just a huge meal.
Okay, so
like a whole brisket and like a bunch of this and
ribs,
that.
ribs.
Yeah.
Here's what the famine that they gave him.
Mm-hmm.
It makes him he will never be hungry. Like, he will actually have no appetite, but he will also not be able to eat anything to like, so he'll starve to death essentially.
Sure.
But it also is basically affected him in such a way where he isn't hungry nor wants to eat. So then therefore there's even more of it. Not just does he have to eat all this food, but it's also like hurts him to do it kind of thing. I know this is very, very sort of sci-fi, but
To what end?
just to make that challenge all the more harder for him. It's not just has to eat all his food. He literally, like, his body's rejecting it the whole time. And he's like, I gotta eat this.
I see. Rather, because my premise just kind of leans in saying they don't know that he has a thing that's going to help him win. Whereas in New York and LA, it was all Snake.
It's all Snake, baby.
You're
You're gonna eat this whole food,
I see what you're
this
saying.
whole table of food. But a famine, giving him a famine is
something like that.
Yeah, I like that. That
Okay.
is his. the thing keeping him. So yeah, he gets in, and we started venturing north, or south through Texas.
Yep.
Cowboy themed stuff, shootouts,
or east.
I'd love to see a horse like horse
in LA.
chase. Yeah, but no, like everyone's on horses and just like lean into the Longhorn cowboy stuff.
I for whatever reason I want when they start the clock, they're like, Texas is real big, so we're going to give you. I know you've done this in a limited amount of time previously, but Texas is big, so we're going to give you 48 hours.
Okay, he's got 2 days to do this.
2 days to get into the heart of Texas and get out,
and then we can call back to the fact.
I don't know if that's really enough. I just know it takes a long time to drive through Texas.
He strolls through Escape from New York until the end, so he can bring that back. So he gets in, he saves the scientist and the formula, gets them out. The scientist lives, and he
meeting a sympathetic Texas babe along the way.
Can we, since we want to use the I thought you were younger in the fourth one,
do
you want to use the I thought you were a hero in this one, or
sure.
No, because that doesn't work because there is no other Snake out there.
Yeah.
Ew, I just thought of an idea. Ugh.
What's that?
We set up the fourth movie in this movie. Like, that this is basically like, I'm not saying like a part 1 and part 2, but like already lay down the, like, Snake the hero myth already is set up in this one to be, so like basically even going so far as a post-credit stinger where it's like, yeah, well, Snake,
it's the right era.
Snake got away. That's okay. We've got one. We've already got the one Snake we need, and
no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
The studio demands it, Jim.
They didn't until you said it. You ruined it. It's no.
What's this guy's name? Matt. Matt's like, yes, do that. That's
well, because that also means that we would end up doing like a CGI Kurt Russell.
Oh, because
then Wyatt Russell would appear as that clone in the fourth one.
Ew! I said ew when I came up with it. Actually, it was more like
thinking about it, when did was it Genesis that had the CGI Arnold?
No, Salvation.
Salvation.
Yeah, and that would have been in like 2009.
Okay, so if our stinger just has a CG young Kurt Russell in 2011. Right, how many years previous to Guardians 2 is that? That could be okay.
That's enough time. Yeah, because okay. Guardians 2 is going to be like 2015.
If the stinger has to happen, we can do that. It kind of undermines the reveal of it in the fourth one, though.
To have. Well, people didn't know to stick around for post-credit stingers at that time,
and the internet didn't exist in 2011.
Avengers hadn't happened yet, so people weren't. Iron Man didn't happen. Yeah. So yeah. I am Iron Man. So yeah, he gets back through and actually, like, just to sort of set up the ending, if right when he crosses into Texas or whatever, sees an ad for like a cereal, I said Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah,
that can be what he puts in their hands in the end when they like load up it's 2011, the thumb drive. When they put the thumb drive with the formula of the food thing in, and it's just a Cocoa Puffs commercial. Like, you'll be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Like, here's Snake. And then he just...
Oh, that'd probably be better if it just self-referential in the movie. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Escape from Texas.
What kind of references do we put in? What's our cabbie named? What's the guy who meets him really early on that then... travels with him a part of the way, and does he turncoat like Map to the Stars Eddie?
Well, you had suggested Tex as a character's name. I said Davy Crockett.
Sure.
Alamo Joe.
That's great. I like that.
And he's like all in on the history. Like he's one of those insane history buffs that like dresses up. So he's like got like a coonskin hat and like and a 10-gallon hat.
Yeah. At the same time.
No, it's a 10-gallon hat with a raccoon tail coming out of it.
Yep.
Alamo
like
Joe.
The guy in UHF. Take that hideous thing off, and he just takes off his mustache.
Alamo Joe, who is his sort of
guide.
Guide,
It's
yeah,
his
because he
guide
knows.
through Texas.
Yeah, well, let me explain the history to you. Like anyone ever tell you talk too much?
Yeah.
Oh, it's my job to talk too much. God damn. Who's the? Does he have someone from his past that recognizes him in this? Like
everyone. You mean like the way Hershey was a partner in Cleveland? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah. How about this? Basically the body, like the last muscle he has to get through. Like whoever the leader of this whole shebang is, they have their whole political machinations, and we can see them get lose in the end of this because Snake blows everything up. But having like someone to fist fight throw down to that is like the last guard before the scientist that he can have like a big punch him up with. That's a former like someone from his special forces era. So then we can bring in like Stallone or someone of Kurt Russell's age of his era for him to have a throwdown with twice.
Okay. What if I know we have a character named Alamo Joe? We could always choose a different. That's really good. That sounds really good. But we could always choose a different Texas town. So the same. I don't know if Escape from New York was referential to anything, but we did read some trivia about Escape from L.A. and the final fight was supposed to be reminiscent of Flying Monkeys. So Wizard of Oz sort of, and I assume that's kind of supposed to be like, oh, it's Golden Era Hollywood. This is a whole Hollywood referential movie. So thinking of Texas, thinking of things to reference, what if the third act, it's supposed to be Escape from Texas, and it is and will be, but they have to have what do you call it? They have to have an Alamo. Mm-hmm. They have to so they're stuck in a fort, and the Texas forces are sort of outside, they're holed up against them, but they have an armory with them. So the whole third act is this holdout with whatever few rebels they have in the fort, and then Snake and Scientist have to sneak out of the fight.
Yes, and I love that. And having like a big battle sequence happen that Snake's just trying to get out. I still want to suggest that he has to do a
Fort Austin.
Okay. That they've built this stronghold and named it the Alamo. Okay, and I do like the idea that Snake has to fight this like former special forces friend of his or someone he's acquainted with.
Going back to his military.
Yeah. And that's why I suggest.
Sorry, I didn't realize that's what you were suggesting. Yeah. I was like, I'm not sure when he ran in, like one of the cops.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
And having it be some other famous person that Kurt Russell could. That's why I said Stallone, because Tango and Cash Reunion. And having him fight him once, and then thinking he defeated him, and then having to fight him to the death a second time in the midst of all this like battle, like the big throwdown at the end, and I want them to escape through a basement.
Sure.
They escape through the basement of the Alamo.
Sure.
And if you get that reference, congratulations.
I mean, we should, yeah.
There's no basement at the Alamo. And that creates a cool like final set piece. And like you said, the reference of Flying Monkeys for L.A. God, wouldn't it be great if Alamo Joe's played by Paul Rubens, just to really get the basement through the Alamo joke in?
just playing up all the Pee-wee stuff. Sure. My initial thought on getting Snake into Texas is that they literally just give him a muscle car and put him on a highway and just drives into Texas because it's so big. But what if... Because they already did water. They did like the submarine in L.A.
And they flew him
What if they do a boat down the Rio Grande?
Sure, yeah. Like,
that way... technically, Texas is to his left the whole time, so at any point he could have gotten over there, but...
No, I don't mind muscle car, like having him just like freaking Mad Max his way in. And you had suggested that Mad Max is what's happening in Australia when Escape from New York is happening anyway. So yeah, giving him some muscle cars to drive in, starting off the movie with a car chase battle would be pretty cool. like that
Okay, sure.
he muscles his way through the border.
Mhm.
Like, hey, you want to get into Texas? You got to go in the Texas way.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
Yeah.
Just crash, you know. And certainly a much more exciting car chase than the slow
Oh.
ass chase and escape from L.A.
The other thing is the other two were prisons in which the prison guards were watching this border.
Mhm.
This one could just be like a demilitarized zone where, right, you have the U.S. forces on one side and the Texas forces on the other,
And a big,
and so
and it's- yeah.
and so literally they're going to lay ground fire for him to get through. So they start up a skirmish, and so Texas and the U.S. are shooting at each other
And-
there, and he has to drive through it.
through the DMZ
Yeah.
to get into. Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to start this. And then he just has
Okay.
to work his way to the Alamo
Mm-hmm.
to retrieve the scientist.
Well, to Houston to retrieve the scientist, and then retreats because he can't get back the way he came.
Mhm.
Retreats to Austin,
And then that's where,
where which is the safe haven because they keep it weird there.
yeah.
It's like it's the one holdout to Texan oppression.
and then the big final battle happens there. The fall of the Alamo,
Mm-hmm.
the Battle of the Alamo takes there. He punches Stallone a few times.
That or Flagstaff, because Flagstaff is on the Gulf Coast, right?
My Texas geography is not
Okay.
as
Mine's not too great either. The reason I say that is because then they could actually escape by boat across the Gulf to.
Flagstaff's Arizona. I wasn't even.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm a dummy. What am I thinking of? What city am I thinking of? Crap.
I mean, El Paso. Oh, Flagstaff is in. I'm sorry. There is a Flagstaff in. Whatever. I think he muscles his way in. He muscles his way out. Like that. And it's a throwback to the first one where he drives across the bridge in the cab that gets cut in half.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause I was going to say they'd be able to. There's a bridge in Austin?
No. In the first movie, in
Yeah.
Escape from New York,
Yeah.
he escapes in the cab. He
Yeah.
drives across. I'm saying he drove out of New York up to the wall
Oh.
in Escape from New York.
Yeah, and
And
could do the same here.
Doing the same here. That if he's driving in, he can drive out.
Okay.
Maybe not in the same muscle car, but
Or you wanted a horse chase.
Oh!
That's how they have to do
yeah,
it.
there we go. I like that.
I mean- Which is a reason I wanted to put the city they hold out in near the border,
Mhm.
because riding a horse for a day and a half might not be feasible.
No. So if it's right on the border, yeah.
Yeah. And I was initially thinking something on the coast so they could speedboat over to like
Mhm.
Louisiana or even better, Florida. Just for some reason they go all the way across the Gulf.
He gets back across the border. He hands in the doohickey
Yep.
and the scientist. The female president pardons him on the spot.
Yeah.
And
I'm not like my father. I'm actually going to
I am gonna-
hold my word.
Huh.
Uh,
Nice.
yeah.
And then he hops on the horse and gallops off.
Yeah.
And then they pop in and see the Cocoa Puffs ad.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Snake. End of movie.
Something
Him
like that,
riding
yeah.
off into the sunset
Yeah.
like a true Texan.
I think those are the broad strokes.
Okay. All right. I'm giving you the fourth movie now. You've got Space Laser and
So
a clone
He has to
Plissken.
Right. So now, in doing what in doing what they did, the U.S. is whether Texas is a part of it or not, I don't care. He has to rescue that scientist again and another one of them formulas. No,
All right, 'cause we don't have
it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be that. If it's going to be going to space, if that's the thing for that kind of makes me want to relocate it to Florida.
You read my mind, man. Going to Cape Canaveral.
It's
Cape
a lot
Kennedy.
shorter. It's a lot shorter of a drive, and summing up all of the U.S. with Florida, with Cape Canaveral, isn't as impressive.
But you do get a lot of Florida man stuff.
You do.
If the
because how messed up the world is, Cape Canaveral sunk.
Mhm.
Florida's basically it's hip deep in water everywhere you go. So it can't be there. So NASA has relocated to the middle where it can't be affected by any of this coastal stuff. It's in Omaha.
Okay.
Omaha is the new spaceport or future spaceport for America. And so Snake has to get there to get whatever the MacGuffin's going to be. I'm going to change it. It's not Canada who grabs him and sends him in. It's the UN or NATO. Which one? I don't know world politics enough now to know which one the U.S. would have quit. Probably both. It probably quit both.
It depends on who the president is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the presidents. It's the
Well,
presidents
like-
of the escape from world are. They don't seem like dudes who'd stick around in those organizations.
No, but like NATO's purpose is to just guarantee the freedom and security of any country or members through political and military means. So it's like an allyship of countries, right? So and they usually promote the same like democratic values and whatnot.
Sure.
So that's what NATO is, and like the UN is not dissimilar. The UN is a, like well, it was
Yeah,
formed
it's-
after World War
it was.
II. It's they deal with like political and like economic cooperation among its member states. So the UN and NATO aren't exactly too different from each other. Whatever the case.
My only problem with doing that is we're kind of flipping the political. Well, even with the third one, we've begun flipping the political poles of John Carpenter's world, and I don't really want to do that because
Well-
I mostly agree with those politics.
Yeah. Well, what would the end result be of the looming famine and climate change that Snake is kind of responsible for by not sharing the food, like the food formula?
Well, Texas wasn't going to share it either. Texas was going to use it to monopolize power over over the rest of the U.S.
Well, I'm just saying whatever the results of this third movie could position the politics in such a fashion that to allow for
Sure.
this story to be told. So if not, maybe it's not. Maybe the space race isn't coming out of America. Maybe it is sending Snake abroad. That he is going to go to China.
Oh,
Or,
no! Literally, he rides off into the sunset of the third one into Mexico.
okay.
So we don't have him come back to Kansas or one of those states. It would be he's gone and hidden in Mexico, and whether it's NATO or the UN or some new group,
Ambiguous
yeah.
political group. Yeah.
The USA is clearly still this bully on the international scene, and a play up that they're already this superpower who's they turned their own country into this oppressive police state. Now they're trying to turn the world into they're being world police.
Team America.
Team America World Police, and trying to turn the world into their police state.
Okay.
And the next way they're going to do so is by having literal Big Brother flying over everyone. So they're putting more satellites in space. They've already created a space station. Or they are building it, and there's your teaser for the fifth one.
Oh no!
I can't help a franchise.
Escape from the Milky Way.
So, Snake is captured in another country and brought to the border of probably it can be wherever we want.
We'll do it north. We'll say Canada. Right, you're put.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
And get into America.
Yeah.
And steal
then,
that
yeah,
space.
Steal the
Steal space.
Steal space. Steal the key. The one key they use for their space elevator. Something like that.
Okay.
And the boy who sits on the stool and pushes the button for you. I don't know.
Okay. Let me see if we can nuance this a little bit, or tweak it a little bit. A person and a thing.
Yep.
Okay. So if it's the thing is the access codes to, you said space elevator, but if the U.S. has launched all these satellites, Big Brother is watching already, and whoever controls the space has all the power.
Which is also why the EMP, the 666 code, blacking out the Earth isn't going to work, because there's enough satellite wouldn't work to take out the U.S.'s surveillance system because it's already in orbit.
So if they have, okay, let me go with me on this. If they have some sort of space station that they are launching that is an Elon Musk level of like...
Ew, I like it.
Yeah, okay. I'm kind of creating a villain in this as well.
We could also go that route. That speaks more to the politics of now putting into the Escape from universe, which I think Carpenter would like. That police state has become corporatized.
Yeah.
It's less government centered, and it's now corporate. So
some sort of Bezos,
that totally fits,
Musk.
Yeah, totally fits into what you're talking about.
There's a habitat that's already been created, and they're going to do a launch for, and basically part of the ticking clock is the launch of this station. Whoever has control of the station controls the Earth. Like the space laser can still be the thing that's going to kill him, and can kill him anywhere he goes. Like that's the thing holding him hostage, or beholding him to this mission. Because I think in the end it would. I'm going to jump all the way to the end here. When he gives him the middle finger and gets his own win in the end, imagining him up on that station cracking open a cold beer and be ready to begin his life off that damn planet, but not alone. Like that's I know we don't want Snake to be a hero in the end, but if what gets him away from the bad guys and he escapes Earth and gets up on this like habitat that was meant for the super wealthy, and it's just a bunch of like criminals and losers who are not there to cause trouble, but just like, so he has a community essentially to be like, hey, that way I'm just not putting him on a space station alone.
I understand. Snake is not only would Snake be fine with being alone. There's sort of a precedent.
Okay.
Just with the movies that exist, Snake does it alone.
Okay. I was just kind of creating a happy ending for this whole thing, but if you're cool with him up on the frickin' Passengers ship or Avenue 5, and he's just like kicking his boots back and is like, hell yeah, drinking a cold beer, just happy to be alone.
Yeah,
I'm happy if you
because as an ending, right? That's a Snake Plissken anti-hero happy ending. I'm away from all of them.
Not even a pretty girl.
No,
just alone.
Yeah,
right on. Good job, Snake. Okay, well we got the ending. So, who's the person that he's going to rescue? If the access codes to this space. Sorry, there's a lot on the table right now, but the idea of
my God, that's how he gets away. That's how he gets to space. That's how bunches of things came together.
Go.
So I like the idea now that they're sending things to space. I don't know if there would be a space jail that they're eventually going to cast them away or something like that. No, I already said no to that. The way he gets up there and he gets there alone is somehow we need to contrive a scene where because I wanted this whole thing so that we could have a clone of Snake, and that is Wyatt. Wyatt will be Snake's clone. At some point, there's like in some fight or something, Snake pulls off the switcheroo. So then at the end, they're like, Snake,
Space
where are
laser.
you? Space laser him. And they hit his clone while he gets away on the ship.
Very good. So even Snake fighting this younger version of himself is like going to eventually have to admit, like, I can't beat you. I'm not going to try to beat you. I can't beat you. Like, not in so many words, but just like, he's going to get trounced by his younger, better self. I'm not saying he's going out like a punk, but like he's on the back foot.
It's that, or we approach this as an opportunity to hand off
the
franchise to get more Young Plissken, the Adventures of Young Plissken type stuff like that. That way, Wyatt can be the continuing Snake. Would be the other route. I don't like saying it out loud. Right, as a suit, as an executive, that sounds great. You're saying we can have these escape movies for another 30, 40 years? Great. But I feel it's truer to the character to be a grizzled old man who says no.
Okay, if we're going to have like...
Because he was a grizzled young man who said no.
having the final moment of the reveal that Snake betrayed Musk Bezos, and is like, and there's clone Snake like literally has him dead to rights as Snake's about to like launch the space elevator one last time, and and Wyatt Russell Snake, young clone Snake, just lowers his gun and lets him go, because screw them too. Like instilling that damn the man attitude in his clone enough so to be like, well, the way to
because it's Snake Plissken, so they have to coerce his clones as well.
Yeah. So that so that in the end
so then we shouldn't space laser his clone.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That in the end the clone gives the middle finger to by being like, I'm gonna let you go.
Yeah.
And so then Snake's like, cool, you had the right attitude, kid. Good luck. And then, I mean, kid, he's gonna be in his 30s, but like having that last moment of like,
that's the Plissken attitude to be there.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, there's an element missing in this. We're speeding through this pretty much, but like, who's?
We're making two of them. I apologize.
No, that's all right. Whatever. It's gonna be up to the listeners to decide which one gets greenlit, the third one or the fourth one.
Both.
Oh man.
I think this is the correct order to do things. Mm-hmm. I think I love the idea. The more I think about it, Escape from Texas or Escape from Lone Star, whichever one you want to call it.
I have to sneeze so bad. Yeah, sorry, continue.
That's okay. I don't know why I'm pausing.
You're watching me struggle.
I'm watching,
I'm like pulling nose here. Saying, good.
Like I do think that's the correct answer to a third one. Mm-hmm. And I think, well, then what's the follow up to that? I think it is The Country, because I don't want to jump from 28 weeks later to 28 years later like they're doing. Give me the months in between, which is what we did.
Folks.
Yeah. I don't want to jump from Escape from L.A. to jumping to Escaping from Earth. Like I like the trajectory John Carpenter's going with that, but I want the other steps in there too. Like I think there's still more commentary to make on the beautiful country and world that we have here.
I have a suggestion for the person he's retrieving.
Okay.
That the U.S. wants, it's not whoever's responsible, the corporatized U.S. that's controlled by these evil billionaires, trillionaires, whatever. Yep. They're the ones who space laser threatened Snake to go in. He has to retrieve the codes because the codes have been, and they previously sent in their number one man to get the job done, and he went off grid, so he has to find and bring back that number one man. So when he finally locates the codes, he finds a captured clone version of himself who then becomes a threat immediately after that. This is messy, but essentially like the reveal of a young clone Snake that's the person he's meant to retrieve. Maybe? Because otherwise, how do you... we need to have a person that he's retrieving to follow the formula, and B, how do you suggest?
Also, why does the UN control the space laser?
Well, that's why I'd take UN out of the equation and make it the corporatized Elon Musk.
So the US is sending Snake into the US?
No, it's this corporate asshole. It's not. It's the
Jeff Bezos or Elon Bezos.
Yes,
is sending
Snake
into the U.S.
Right, and the U.S. hates this guy,
gotcha.
So he's already in a danger zone anyway by being in there. A, who's he retrieving? B, how do you reveal clone Snake? Is that just the U.S. government has their ultimate weapon? So those are the two questions on the table right now. And I'm gonna take a sip of my mug here while you stare into the middle distance. I'll narrate.
I like the idea of suggesting that there is more than one clone of Snake out there. Mm-hmm. Whether we see more than one or not, I'm not sure. But having it be a thing that they don't tell Plissken what it is until later. It's the clone tech. He's going to because Elon Bezos wants to live forever.
So
he wants to do it through cloning.
So he's not stealing any control over the space program whatsoever. It's just the cloning technology.
I think so, because clearly Bezos probably should stop calling.
Yeah, call Musk.
Yeah, that would he already has control over some space things, right? He has control over a space laser, so he has no problem going to space himself.
Right.
Um,
But he is planning on leaving to this like space station resort, his Avenue 5.
and wouldn't he be doing that through the U.S.?
Well, if the U.S. has been completely corrupted and controlled by corporatization, I see the complication here because like if the U.S. controls all this, why are they sending Snake into the U.S. to steal a thing?
Yeah.
It needs to be someone else sending. That's why I'm suggesting it's a corporatized person like Beck. We'll call him Beck. That Beck is outside. That he's Canadian and very polite, but also evil.
He's got the devil's haircut.
And that the U.S. is once again a locked down, do not enter, no one gets out, and also they hate Snake, but they also utilize clone technology to create the leaders of their police force are Snake Plisskens. I think that might be too many Snake Plisskens. I think just one is enough.
Yeah, that's probably too many. Yeah, right, because if his clones prove to be just as ornery and hard to control,
Yeah.
they wouldn't make an army of that.
You're gonna just need one. One of them's hard enough to control.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it made no sense to do that with a Jango Fett.
You fools. They put all those the things in place to control. They just needed the physiology, not the brain mechanics.
I mean, it's
So he's okay. So you had pivoted and said now he's trying to retrieve cloning technology.
well,
as
that was
opposed
that seemed to be the right pivot. If there's going to be, like what if Beck has space lasers, that means he has access to space travel. That's not a thing he needs to steal.
Correct. You are right. But I do want it to end in such a way that he's lost full control of any that Snake wins space. That it'll put him back decades to ever get back up there after Snake has got his hands on this. So that can be an additional thing that in the end the space laser that's been controlling Snake is used to zap away any control. He takes space elevator up to the ship, and then the world is cut off from space. It can still be that. He could be retrieving. Oh man, actually, I think I have something. We've keep trying to retrieve a person and a device, or a
What if it's
MacGuffin.
a device and a person?
What if it is a clone? That that he needs to retrieve the clone of Beck, or it's a person and the MacGuffin is the person, like the cloning, the Jango Fett. He's got to retrieve Jango Fett. You see what I'm getting at?
Sort of, yeah.
That it is the prototype clone person needs to be executed. He doesn't even retrieve it. He needs to go in and kill them. Because that was his mission in L.A.
That's right.
Was retrieve the code or the
MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin, but kill the daughter.
Yeah.
That was his mission.
Yeah.
So it could be we're sending you in to kill this clone. Because if whoever has captured this person realizes they're a clone, they will know what they have. Maybe. No, but they already know. They already know about cloning because they created all these Snake Plisskens.
Just the one.
Right. They already know about cloning because they created the clone Plissken. Yeah. Okay.
We don't have to do a fourth. We can go back to just saying, man, we nailed that third one.
We nailed that third one. Okay, let me try it again. Beck, in all of his machinations as this trillionaire who can do whatever he wants, is the one who developed the cloning technology that created Snake. So now he wants his property back. Whoever he made it for the U.S. government. The government kept the materials necessary to continue to clone, and Beck wants that back. So he's sending Snake in to blow up the cloning facility. so that the U.S. can't keep making clones. Oh, and that then gives Snake the ability to, like, okay, what am I blowing up an entire building with? Well, the space laser that's aimed at you, you can use it to blow up the thing once you get there. Because then that gives Snake an element of control over the laser, maybe? I don't know. I'm babbling, Jim. I'm rambling. I'm going to lean back from the microphone.
Sorry.
I've thrown a lot out there.
Should we take a second break?
No.
Here's what I'm thinking. The UN, or our international guys grab Snake, and they're like, we want you to do the thing. We get you with our whatever is the make you do this serum. He goes in. He's going to get chased by a clone of himself. America has since moved away from the religious element that it had previously, and because of the doing of the president who believed in tyranny through other means.
Right.
But America has been chopped up by corporations now. There are now the states as we know them are still fun little designators.
Yeah.
But it's been sort of chopped up into corporate states.
Okay.
So we get to go through America, and if we're coming down from the north, just a little tidbit, I realize it could be fun, would be fun, will be fun. Going past Mount Rushmore, like going through the Dakotas, and seeing how the Four Faces have been changed.
Beautiful camp.
Yeah.
Beautiful camp.
Yeah.
Matte painting, even in 2026 when this movie comes out.
Yeah. But so the reason that the space laser doesn't work for me to be the thing hanging over him is because I think the threat and what Snake's handlers want, they want access to space. America has access to space. It has its spaceport, and it controls all the lasers in space, which shoot whenever they want. The surveillance state over the world has already happened.
Okay.
And so they want Snake to get in there to get the key to turn it off.
Okay. I dig this.
Basically.
Okay.
And when he gets in there, so my thought is so all the stuff happens. We meet all the people. We do all the things. We have our clone. Maybe we have a switcheroo thing happen. But basically, the way I'm imagining the ending, Snake gets out, right? He gets to space with that arc, and it's just him. And he gets past the laser grid, and whatever the MacGuffin, whatever his space key is, he turns it off for the U.S. as well. So now the space lasers, calling it the grid, are now autonomous, and no one can escape. And essentially, he's said, all you fuckers live together yourselves. You deal with it.
I'm staying up here.
Yeah.
I live in space now.
Yeah, and no one else can get out
He's
here.
Space Plissken.
Is that, now that I say that out loud, he's Space Plissken, yes. Call me Space. Is that counter to his character, basically locking the jail and throwing away the key? Because he's more of a guy.
I'm willing to complete his arc here, especially if he leaves a younger Snake behind to keep messing with these people.
Sure.
That he's like, I'm finally done. Like, this is not...
I mean, is that the thing? Like, his final message back to Earth is talking to the clone, saying, it's your problem now.
Yeah, pretty much. Like giving them their final moment, that's essentially that, where then the clone Snake lets him go. Sure. To be like, I'm already beginning to damn the man. Yeah, I think that tracks. And letting Snake have an ending is perfect. Like, it's within his character to go this far.
I don't just mean having an ending, but the whole... Because, right, it's been about him being sent into prisons to get something out. The whole notion of jailers and prisoners. And in the end, I suppose he didn't actually free anyone from New York.
Right.
That the prison of New York still exists.
Still exists, yeah.
The prison of L.A.
still...
technically still exists, but because there's no power, they could get out. And with what we do with the third one, we didn't really undo any of that.
Texas still exists as it exists. He just caused a ruckus and got out. And so
him leaving the Earth prison intact and then just closing it so the jailer can't get out.
Yeah, I think that works. And it's even if it's even small, it's an arc. Like we took
Sure.
Snake somewhere where he's finally done with. They cannot recruit this guy again.
Yeah.
They got young Snake down there to do a whole new franchise with, but being able to just wash his hands of this and chill in space, I think works. As far as for the do anything device, and to play with some of the stuff we've done has been done in the previous 2 films, and the third where he eats the food that like screws him over. When they bring him in, and he has a moment of like being like photographed or scanned or body like having his body scanned, they just have a big FU missile with his number on it, like.
Oh, sure.
That's like no matter how far or wide you go, we will launch this bad boy and blow you up and anyone you're around. Just like the UN would. I just trying to create a device. It's not a bomb. It's not a famine disease. It's not a fake flu. It is a literal cruise missile that can find him wherever he goes and blow the hell out of it.
Okay.
So that's just the do anything device.
Okay. Other beats of a Escape From movie, him getting captured by the enemy and
what's
through
his
a trial of combat
of his skills
of some kind. Something
we're dealing with we're dealing with a 70-plus-year-old Snake now in this movie, so take that into consideration.
Fair. But I have seen Liam Neeson do some amazing things.
And Kurt Russell's still an amazing dude, so
yes.
I'm not discounting that. I'm just saying, bear that in mind.
Sure.
What's the trial we can put him through?
But it should be America themed. Like a lot of the tropes and things we play up.
I got something silly.
Need to be things that are quintessential American, not New York, not LA, not Texas.
I guess
things that are American that like people in the world think of Americans.
You know those? It's a batting cage that's shooting grenades at him, and he has a baseball bat, and he has to keep hitting the grenades away from him.
America.
It's a grenade gun, and he's hitting them away like a baseball. America's pastime.
That's not bad. We can go with that for now. Yeah.
He's in a batting cage. There's 100 grenades shooting at you, Snake. Good luck.
100.
He's getting tired.
100.
Maybe not 100. Maybe not 100. Well, whatever the home run derby record is.
Oh, I was gonna say you have to do a baseball game's worth, so it would be 27.
Okay. Yep, I'll take that. But whatever the case, what do you think? Grenade baseball?
I don't have a better thing right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only other thing would be like, how can we weaponize loud tourism?
While eating a cheeseburger?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about the clone circumstances. Like, what's the clone reveal for you? Like, when's the first?
Wyatt, and that's cool.
No, I know that. he Halo jumps into America, and once he hits the ground, when he's first identified or revealed, the powers that be.
Oh, sorry. You said Halo. I'm like, well, so he's already done the glider thing, but actually I like the Halo jump. So it's a plane. It's automated because they know it's going to get only a certain distance into the U.S. before it's blown up by the space lasers.
Yeah.
So he has to jump off this plane at a certain time, but before so we get a cool scene of we see the laser coming, essentially. I hate when people go faster than light, but do
this
something.
Is happening.
Yeah, something like that.
God,
yeah,
like Chris McQuarrie,
or we just see the laser cutting through the plane. That's what it is. It's not that he goes faster than light; he just goes faster than it can cut through the plane.
Like Chris McQuarrie or Joseph Kopinski, the guy who did Top Gun Maverick, just for constantly. Chris McQuarrie writes ticking clocks better than anyone writing today. So he's the guy to. I mean, no, we're the guys to write it.
Yeah.
He can direct it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the reveal of Clone Snake. Tell me about this. Because once he lands, and the first time he's spotted and identified, I hate computers. They keep identifying me if you choo choo. My face was captured.
No, I think what happens, even though they're not supposed to know that he's there, right? Because stuttering. The plane comes in, gets shot by the lasers. That tells the Corpo US people, the people who run that, they're like, oh, we had something. Let's send a team, or let's send an agent to go check it out. That's going to be a clone.
Yeah.
That does suggest there are others. I'm fine with suggesting it. We don't have to show them.
We'll let people hypothesize that.
Yeah. And we don't have to show him there. I'm not sure when we finally reveal. Like we could do a totally like the first few times he shows up, we only show from behind, so it's not clear that it's Snake, or that it's Wyatt Russell.
The marketing will screw this up, but
yeah.
Go ahead.
Absolutely. I'm maybe the reveal is actually just really simple, like it's not any sort of dun 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 moment. Maybe the audience gets to see this character and follow them before Snake sees him.
I like the idea of like hiding, not seeing him fully revealed. The audience can start making assumptions almost immediately because we're not showing this guy. But I think when Snake sees him for the first time, we should see
it's a bigger deal.
We should see his face for the first time
too. Okay,
so that it's
works.
like, so if Snake like fights off some U.S. police state force and like beats up 6 or 7 guys,
like as he lands,
goes through like a moment of reprieve before then he has like a fight, and then he finishes beating up these like stooges, and then looks up, and then smoke clears, and there's his younger self standing in front of him and being like, "What the hell?" And then and then he just comes at him, and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And it's basically like the freaking Terminator, like run and hide kind of thing.
Because it was revealed that Snake's name is Bob.
Yeah.
In L.A. The forces can be fighting him, right? And he's beating them up. He's fighting them off, and then they back up. They go, "Bring in Bob! Bring in Bob!" And that's when the clone steps through.
Yeah, and then his first confrontation with the clone does not go well for him. It's just he's pretty handily beat, and then he has to run for it, and he escapes. So then the clone is basically chasing him.
Yeah,
and then you get like 2 or 3 other, probably power 3 instances of scuffling with this guy until that last like getting across the line to what's holding him under attack right now? It's the missile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that. I also like the idea of once it's revealed, and I would want to reveal it earlier in the movie.
Yeah,
because
first
then what we're also going to follow is Wyatt is going to get back in his truck, his Corpo US truck, and he's going to report back to some video screen, right? Like he got away, and like they're going to reprimand him and say, like what's going to happen if you fail. Like maybe he is aware he's a clone, not necessarily. He would be aware. He's probably aware he's a clone of Snake now, but like maybe even the suggestion, like we'll melt you down and just put a new clone out there.
We'll just make another one of you.
Yeah.
We put a bomb in your neck.
All of your necks. Something like that.
Sure. I like that.
Right, basically, so each time he checks in where he hasn't killed Snake, he gets reprimanded, and or like maybe they zap him. Like,
I like
you
that.
know what this means? Something like that. Because I like the idea. So he has both his eyes.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I don't know how to fully pull it off, but like in their last fight or something, I like the idea that Snake takes out his left eye.
Yeah.
Something like that, and that somehow frees him. Like I don't know if it gets the bomb that was behind the eye, or I don't know, something like that.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, if the bomb is literally in his skull and it's behind his eyeball, like say like this is for your own good, and just like stabs him in the face, and then
yeah, something like that.
I love it. That is silly enough to be awesome.
And so then the very final confrontation, he has some bandage over his eye, and he has Snake dead to rights.
Yep.
And that's when he lowers the gun and says, "Get out of here." Something like that. So it's the full transition into him being the new Snake.
And the 2 final epilogue moments are we get to see. I think we see our proper Snake Plissken last up on space popping his beer. But I think the last moment we see with our clone is like maybe our Beck character running up and be like, oh no, what did you do, Bob? What have you done, Bob? What this is on Bob, and he just turns and looks at him and goes, call me Snake.
Yeah, something like that. Or it was. I was going to suggest in the radio between Snake and the clone on Earth. He does something like,
Good luck, Bob.
Good. Well, I was going to have him say, "Good luck, Snake." Like he gives him the name.
But whatever the
Kind of
case,
thing.
I like that, and having him tell someone
Or-
like
yeah.
repeating the line like call me Snake.
Yeah.
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 Woo!
Yeah. We didn't name the babe in this one. We didn't name the one in the last one either.
Yeah.
I just whatever you think of when you think of a Texas babe is for the third one, and for this one, I don't know.
I say we name one of the babes Adrian.
Sure.
In homage to Adrian Barbeau from the original.
Yeah, absolutely. For this one, for the Escape from the U.S., in my mind, quintessential U.S. blue-collar lady would be a waitress.
Mm-hmm.
So he meets a waitress babe at some corporate
Goldie Hawn?
corporate restaurant. Sure.
I'm just, he's been
Yeah.
trying. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
She's age appropriate as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, at some it's McDonald's or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Taco Bell because this is the alternate future of the alternate future that is Demolition Man.
Yeah, there you go.
You're welcome, Taco Bell.
No, it's AFC,
AFC.
American Fried Chicken.
Hell yeah.
We didn't do his erstwhile companion in this one.
Oh, and this one, yeah, like
Is
who's
erstwhile
his?
the right one? I don't know.
Who's the tag-along? Who is our Alamo Joe?
Uncle Sam
Uncle Sam? Just a dude? Just a Sam? Just an old guy?
calls himself Uncle Sam.
Okay.
Maybe,
And-
maybe think he even dresses
Oh
in the.
man, he's in a tattered, like stained old Uncle Sam outfit, and just has two big ass machine guns, and is like, and
That's my only. The sidekick is never a fighder.
okay. I was gonna
That's the
give
only
him.
other-
I was gonna give him a younger sidekick to fight alongside because he is in his 70s. So I'd still love the idea that he's capable and kicking ass.
Yeah.
But giving like an additional sidekick that can add to some of our action sequences with a little more youthful energy was my only the only reason I
was
that way.
thinking a character that totally plays into that the caricature that is the political cartoon Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam, yeah.
White beard and all. But
So
it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be that.
But it should be Stephen Lang, because he's
It
buff
totally
as
should.
hell.
Sure.
He's just ripped, just like sleeveless, and just got these like veiny guns. Hell
Sure.
yeah, America!
Oh,
Uncle
sure.
Sam's got your back. Don't tread on me.
Yeah. Actually, that works. I'm in.
Okay, good. Uncle Sam.
He loves everything that he loves everything that America used to be.
Yeah. I stand for the red, white, and blue. Now give me a cheeseburger.
None of this dollar sign.
Oh, when Snake is put into the grenade baseball competition,
Uh-huh.
Uncle Sam pulls a baseball bat out and he's like, "Use Old Hickory." Like he just like he gives him the bat that it's got the lightning bolt on it from the Natural. Like
This one does have the potential of verging into the LA cheesy. But maybe that's what this franchise is. Campy to cheesy to campy to cheesy.
hell yes. No, we do all that, but cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was what was
That's
missing.
but cool.
Yeah. Okay, folks, you've been given a double feature, but the person to really ask here is Matt's from I'm Not Dead Studios. How did we do? I think we're going to end the episode here. I think this is we've gone far enough. I'm not going to let Jim pitch a third. What do we do with Wyatt Russell at this point? Lee Winnell will make the rebooted Adventures of Young Snake Plissken. So, don't apologize. Come on, this is great. But I do wonder what the listeners think. So you can message us directly at studiodemandsit.com or on Instagram at studiodemandsit. If you're not already, you can subscribe to us on all your podcatchers of choice. And if you feel like giving us a little review, you can do that in your podcast app, and that really helps the show get out there into the algorithm. We hit a milestone. We are now streaming regularly in 25 countries. So thank you to those listening around the literal world. We're sorry we're space lasering you at the end of this. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok, where we post video content, including material not heard here on the show. And if you want even more, I mentioned it earlier, we have a Patreon. For a couple bucks a month, you can get episodes early, as well extended double-length episodes, as well as movie commentary tracks. We did Escape from New York in conjunction with this episode. So if you want to go listen to us talk through that. Massive thank you to 6.5 Media for being the overlords of the show and everything they do for us. Check out the other 6.5 shows. Jim, you've had time, as is tradition. I rattle off all the social stuff, and you sit there and run your fingers.
I have no notes.
No notes.
No extra bits. Nothing's coming to mind.
Okay. Well, yeah. Oh.
I hope in whatever remake is coming. I think I read a soft thing saying that it's not a remake or a reboot.
Like a requel?
Yeah, I don't
requels are all the rage now.
What is that?
You just take the one that was good and do a sequel to that. Like Halloween did that.
So Escape from New York is going to be a requel to itself?
No, it'd be like Escape from New York would be canon. Yeah. And then Escape from New York would not be.
But it's not an Escape from New York Part 2.
No. I don't know. I'm throwing out.
I suppose you are right. Halloween 2019 was just called Halloween, and it was a sequel to Halloween.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Who knows when it's going to come, because this has been in development since pre-pandemic.
That's true.
So we shall see. And I'm curious how we did here. I know I've already did all the call-outs and the calls to action or whatnot, but what the real call to action will be here is.
What was the? I'm so sorry.
I just gave you such a look. Can you hold that question for a second?
Yeah.
Should we reach the end of the season? Should we put 3, 4, or both on the table for the finale? That's the only thing.
2 is so much work.
I know 2 is so much work. Whatever the case,
Yeah.
I'm curious how this landed with people. So now, what was your question?
I just wanted to reiterate what do people who he runs into that recognize him say?
Oh, for the
for the fourth one.
Well, I thought you were younger.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And the third one was.
Oh God, what was it? I thought you were.
Were we gonna make that? I thought you were a hero.
No. I thought you'd be taller. I thought you'd be dead. I thought you were young. I forgot.
Okay.
Whatever we said, that's the hashtag for the episode. You let us know. We'll probably remember it later.
Yeah.
But okay, that's it for it. That's it for this. We're gonna go now. This is how I ended the episode. Good. Yeah, bye.
Bye now.
Bye now.